What up everybody, Grom-trooper here, and as you can see we've got the 2000 Sportster 883 2B chopper up on the lift. Been doing some cosmetic stuff here and there. We got this cover off to paint its block so that the whole theme of this bike's gonna sort of be like matte black and metal. Matte black and metal, yeah, you know. Like that, but so we got that off. I've got some brackets on order to relocate these turn signals. As much as I love these edgelord grips, I got a pair of black ones on order. Also, they don't match, so it's just slightly problematic. So I'll be relocating the headlights down, probably down here, maybe up here. We'll see. And then new mirrors. The little cover bob here is getting painted black. I gotta look up what that part's actually called because I have no fucking clue. The headlight shroud, probably. We got LED bulbs in all of these. You can't really. Yeah, you can actually kind of tell. We got that one in there. Yeah, so those look absolutely freaking gorgeous. Super bright, as you can see over here. They are absolutely blinding, so that's awesome. But we have a slight problem in that since we've converted all of the lights to LED, the turn signals have a hyper flash. So got to run some relays in there. Those are on order. So I've actually already got the seat off and got the wiring loom pulled out. So there's a couple of videos on this on the internet. And from what I've seen pieced together, because all of the other conversions I've ever done for these before have just been replacing the factory blinker relay with an LED compatible one. But down in there, that gray fucking box is apparently the Harley blinker relay amongst 500 other things. So the easiest solution apparently is to wire some relays in line into the harness here. And I've seen people be like, oh, I did it, it works. And then I've seen people be like, here's how I did it, but then they don't show their results. So I'm going to try and record that and then show you guys both how I spliced everything in, how I made secure connections, how I secure everything under the seat here going forward, and then obviously testing with the lights on the bike here. These weren't on before. I got the broken taillight replaced with the spare that came with the bike, and I got them mounted up here, so these have LEDs in them. Brake light still has a burnt out bulb, so that's next on the to-do list as far as bulb replacement goes. I really love how well this air cleaner cleaned up, but I think for the purposes of what I'm doing, I'm gonna order a matte black one, or order a black one and paint it matte, because that thing is so gorgeous. I just feel absolutely terrible destroying it by, you know, painting over it when I could sell it off to somebody who's doing like a big chrome build or something like that, and they could use it on their bike because it's in phenomenal shape. There's not a single, you know, ding or dent or scratch anywhere on it. This bike was clearly babied for the 43,000 miles it's been, or that's a new one. Anyways, if you're interested in that, hit me up on Instagram and we can talk, because I'm likely going to be replacing it with one of the same style in black or a smaller one in black. We'll see. And yeah, we'll work something out if you're interested. I want to replace this exhaust. That's going to be a long-term thing though, so in the meantime I've got some black fiberglass wrap that's coming in, and Brian and I are going to pull that off and we're going to wrap that exhaust like we wrapped that exhaust, but not with this OD green stuff. It's going to be black to match the rest of the bike. So we got that coming. These pegs need to be replaced. One, they weeble wobble like nobody's business, which on a Harley that shakes, you know, that's really annoying. I don't like how they look, as well as these grips. I'm gonna replace those grips. But the bigger problem is that either somebody dropped this or slammed on it really hard, because this one's not only hoopa-jooped and just really loosened the hips there, but also a little flaccid, and if I had to look at that all the time, it would drive me crazy. So we're going to replace that. I think I'm going to mat out the top and bottom caps for this oil intercooler, so that's on the to-do list. Wire tuck and tank lift are up next, but I haven't ordered any of the parts for that. I think I might just make the brackets myself on the plasma cutter and then powder coat them. Polish the heads. So I want your guys' opinion, actually, because I've seen this done a couple of different ways. So I've seen the center rings replaced on these with black ones. I've seen the whole thing replaced with black for the valve covers. And then I've just seen them polished up really nice, and I think that looks good polished against a black frame with like a matte black tank and accessories and stuff. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on that, because I'm in the air about how I want to stylize that, but I want to do something to it, even if it's just pulling them off and really polishing the bejesus out of them. I got the primary off. This thing is filthy as all get out, but it'll clean up all right. You can't see it, but the primary cover is painted already because I got restless, but it's over there right now because we have the primary tore apart. I asked the previous owner if he knew if the grenade plate was still in this bike or not, and he looked at me like I was speaking Japanese. So then I repeated myself in Japanese, and then he looked at me again like I was speaking Japanese. So I've got the tool on order, and I figure if I'm going to be working on Harleys on a regular basis, having the diaphragm spring compressor for working on these Sportsters and then the big twins, it's a worthwhile investment. It was like 25 bucks. But we're going to take that clutch pack apart, which is something I didn't want to have to do, and we're going to inspect it to see if there's a ticking time bomb inside my brand new motorcycle. That's probably, as far as a reliability feature goes, my biggest pet peeve with Harley is that they ran with that design for so freaking long. But it is what it is. I'm going to make a matte black cover to cover up this battery. I know they make the ones that slip in here because I've ordered them before. I'm probably going to matte black this out. I don't know if I'm going to matte black the rear fender, but I'm probably going to have to if I continue to like do the tank and the other stuff matte black, which means that fender is going to have to get matte black too. Maybe the fork lowers, we'll see. Oh yeah, we got 5-inch fork tube extenders on this to give it a little stance. And I like it a lot as a tall human being. It's really cool, and I feel like the bike sits a lot better. And it, as far as the rate goes, you know, adding that bit more height, bit more raker trail, I can't remember which it is off the top of my head. Maybe it's both. But I think it's just trail. Anyways, the point of contact with the axles and the point of contact with the wheels is a little different now, and it rides in a straight line a lot better, which the majority of what I want to do with this bike is I want to take this bike and I want to tour around on it. I want to go places like Barber, I want to go places like the Pacific Coast Highway, and I want to show that not only can you buy a bike and chop it out for almost no fucking money whatsoever, I think if you take off the trailer that I got with this bike, the cost of that trailer and its value, I think I've paid so far in the bike itself and all the parts I've ordered, mirrors, fucking levers, fork tube extenders, what else did I order? Ordered a bunch of stuff for it. The light relocation stuff, the exhaust wrap. I'm only like 1,800 bucks into this bike. And assuming nothing is wrong in here, fingers crossed, this thing should be rideable and tourable with just a little bit of maintenance. It needs a new gasket here because some jerk tore it while he was taking the primary cover off. Oh, I wonder who could have gotten a little impatient with a mallet. But like this bike is in phenomenal shape for what I paid for it, and like I want to take it around and ride it around and show people that like chopper culture is still accessible to the everyman. And I feel like, especially with Harley's pricing models and stuff like that, and the amount of bells and whistles that come on these bikes these days, and if you go into a Harley dealership and say, hey, I want to buy a Sportster and fit it out for touring, they're going to laugh at you. They'll be like, oh, you sure your friends are going to make fun of you for having a girl's bike? Fuck that noise. This thing's an 883 and it rips as it sits right now. And I would have no problem riding it cross country. And I know people have, and I'm not a little dude like Brian, you know, I'm a big boy. So it pulls under me just fine. So I think getting that mindset back out into the culture, and shout out to Lowbrow Customs. I mean, those guys, they're so pro Sportster, it's not even funny. And I think they're great advocates for it. And I want to do that too. I want to show that, you know, you can buy a bike like this and make it into like this unique monstrosity and then ride it all over hell and not have issues. So that's sort of the plan for this bike. Aesthetically, I have a theme in mind. I'm not going to share what that is right now, but it's nerdy as hell. So just be prepared for that and to make fun of me. But yeah, we're getting there. I'm going to do a whole video on Brian and I taking the clutch basket apart and inspecting it, because I think getting in there and really looking at the parts and making sure that everything is good is something that everybody should know how to do on their Sportsters. And everybody shows you how to take the the primary cover off. So I didn't even film any of that, because it's you start with the top bolt and then the bottom bolt and then you go clockwise. And pro tip that everybody will share with you: make a diagram and some cardboard and stick your bolts in there so you don't lose them. That's just a best practice. But I don't want to show you any of that. I want to show you what it looks like when you get inside of here and you're actually like looking at the parts, what to look for, and how to determine whether, you know, your clutch pack needs to be replaced, if you've got a grenade plate in there, and, you know, so on and so forth. So that's going to be a video all its own, as will be the blinker relays. And then I'll probably do a short video just installing the new levers and the new mirrors and relocating the lights and stuff. I know it's kind of boring stuff, but you guys seem to really like build videos. So build and accessory videos is what it's going to be. I got to order some more of the spring clips or whatever the hell they're called. But Brian was fiddling around with this, and he lost my spring clip. It's down over there under the plasma cutter somewhere, probably. But yeah, that's where we're at on this bike. Brian's bike, aside from having my trash all over it, and my coat hanging on it and stuff, it's getting there. Here's some of that wire tuck I was talking about in the last video. You can see it's very cleaned up in here, so there's not just loose freaking wires everywhere now. But we're gonna have to replace his blinker relay too. If I can get it in framing, you fuck. But that's the factory relay. We'll swap that out with one that's LED compatible. And we got the stuff needed to put the fuel system in order for this. We still need to get a valve. And then a couple of barb connectors. Poor Brian was base coating his tank the other day, and I'll show you this. I feel really bad about it. So he had it hanging in the paint booth, and the wire failed, so it fell and dinged through the primer here, scraped the primer there. That one's nice and deep. Some nasty gouges over here, but worst is this side right here. So he's gonna hit this with some 500 grit, wet sand it down, smooth it out, and then reprime and rebase coat it. So I feel really bad about that. Like, I watched it happen and there's nothing either of us could do, and we just stood there for like 2 minutes in silence after it happened. Felt really bad. Oh, and then we've got a new magnetic sweeper down here that my dad built. So we're testing that out. It's pretty hefty. It's got what is it, 48 square inches of magnets on the bottom of it, as opposed to like 8 square inches that most like the Harbor Freight ones have. I was just dicking around with it earlier, and you can see it pulled all the iron filings out of my sweep pile and left all the aluminum there. So this will be really useful to have around the shop for cleaning up, because it's fucking filthy in here. So yeah, that's where we stand right now. And I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff in here that I'm forgetting to show you, but really this is priority number 1. Getting that home is priority number 2. It's running rich right now, but I can just weeble wobble the fuel air adjustment screw, because I've got one of those now. And then priority number 3 is back down over there. So as soon as the Sportster's done and rideable, which shouldn't be too long. Like I said, worst case scenario, I'm waiting like another week for a clutch pack. But that'll go back on the lift and we'll get back to fabbing on that. But overall, I feel like we're making good progress here. And The shop mascot would like to remind you that if you're going to purchase disgusting covers for your air intake, he'll take them from you and punish you. So he's the only one that can have the Screaming Eagle, because he's a Screaming Eagle. All right. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more, please don't forget to subscribe. There will be plenty of me fucking up and, you know, putting stuff together. So thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.